I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm some like influencer. Like I'm not.
You're an influencer, not a creator.
Yeah, exactly.
Your nipples are disgusting.
I'm telling you, once a girl is not a virgin, her value is nothing.
Are you qualified to somebody like that?
What makes someone qualified?
When you wake up every single morning and you take a look in the mirror, you're 100% satisfied with every single thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, dude. All right. Well,
I don't really like a woman who tries to be super educated either and try to like have these, intelligent conversations.
I think I can say the N-word.
What happens to someone who becomes too focused on their appearance? We all know people like that. In theory, they become more attractive since they improve their features every day and gradually approach an ideal, the standard. But in practice, why do all these people often feel so pathetic and broken? They are standing in front of you fitting all the beauty standards, but somehow you just know this person is deeply insecure. The weirdest thing is that for women this is considered normal, but when something like that happens to a man, we are all expected to pity him, to say sorry, to judge society for this poor little 30-year-old incel, aren't we? Hi everyone, my name is Nana, and today we are diving into the world of insecure men who want validation from other men, pretending they're doing it for women while secretly hating them, or not that secretly actually. Men without jobs but with endless ambition to mog. Men who blame women for all their troubles. In simple words, average men. Just kidding, or am I? Today we are diving into the world of looksmaxxing and its main figure, Clavicular. This whole video seems like a joke. Clavicular. Okay, I know. Clavicular. Braden Peters. We'll talk about it. This is gonna be traumatic. Get ready. I feel like looksmaxxing has been around for 3 years now. I learned about Muin in 2023, but then suddenly everyone stopped talking about it, or at least in my bubble. And now we're back. In the past few months, if you have internet, what am I doing? You would somehow know about Clavicular. Like, there is no way you haven't heard about him. And maybe you're like, well, I actually haven't heard about him, but today we are gonna be talking about some things, and then you will definitely be like, oh, that's him. I know him. Why am I hiding my mic? That's not a sponsorship. Why? Guys, I hope this picture, this lighting is okay. Please tell me, like, honestly, because I'm struggling so much. The wallpapers in my room are not, for YouTube. I need to move at this point, okay? Anyway, your subscription, like, maybe becoming a member of our community will help this channel endlessly. Get ready to get some trauma, and without further ado, let's get right into it.
I don't really like a woman who tries to be super educated either and try to like have these
Looksmaxxing is basically an internet trend focused on maximizing physical appearance, doing everything you can to improve how you look, but it has a very mixed background and culture around it. The term originated on male incel message boards in the 2010s, mainly among men who were struggling with dating and self-confidence. It stayed relatively unknown until the 2020s, when it became popular on TikTok, especially among male creators sharing appearance advice. Today, looksmaxxing is used in communities focused specifically on the idea of male beauty. I would say ideal male beauty, this standard. And it is mostly used by men rather than women. Basically, looksmaxxing is a male version of glow up. A glow up can be good, healthy, productive with advices like go to the gym, eat good, sleep properly, or it can be aggressive, focusing only on external beauty like getting baby botox at 20, going on strict diets, and going to the gym 5 times a day. The same applies to looksmaxxing. Unfortunately, basic advices like go to the gym, eat properly, sleep properly are not that popular among looksmaxxers because it's obvious, right? If only it was that easy, people want to maximize their appearance. They want to look better than they, naturally ever can, and that's okay. We live in a, I would say, society that is definitely focused on our looks, so this desire is understandable for me. But the fact that in the looksmaxxing community people won't go to the extremes lately. Well, people. In recent years, creators who promote aggressive methods of improving appearance have become popular. One of them is Clavicular. He smashes his bones with a hammer, injects himself with testosterone from the age of 14 on his own, injected himself with Botox because what makes doctor better than him?
Are you qualified to somebody like that?
Well, I'm not like a nurse PA, if that's what you're asking, but what makes someone qualified to something that's got essentially no risk profile? I would say that this might be a little bit egotistical, but I would say I'm probably much more qualified than your average PA who's doing it.
I mean, yeah, what can a medical degree basically give you that high school doesn't? He takes drugs to suppress appetite, does makeup, well, at least something sane, uses padding on his chest and shoulders, tries to make himself look taller with that, and wants to undergo height increasing surgery where they cut the leg bone and slowly stretch it apart with a metal device. I heard that this is one of the most painful surgeries ever. Other than that, he injects fat dissolvers into his underage girlfriend on stream, hangs out with Andrew Tate, drops around the N-word all the time, rates women on scale.
Miss 8-figure now, I'm gonna give her probably like a 3 out of 10, maybe 2.5. Just a lot of like the lip assessments aren't very good. Her entire facial structure was not properly developed. You've got a lot of dental issues, so I'm definitely gonna give you a 3 out of 10. Isabella, I'm gonna give her around a 4.75 out of 10. I would say that your main issue would be, sort of the Adam's apple that's protruding down your neck. So we'll give her 4.75. Mia, I would say she's probably the best looking on the panel, as annoying as she is. But let's maybe like a 6.25, 6.5.
All right.
So she's not looking too bad. Around a 4.75.
Okay. All right.
So just not good development. So that's why you get the 4.75. Glasses.
Okay, there we go.
I'm also going to give you maybe a 3.75.
Thank you, so generous.
Yeah, no worries. Continue with your OnlyFans ad, but for fuck's sake, that's not going to save your chin from being about double the height that's supposed to be either.
I understand.
And moving on to this lady, if we put the camera on her side profile, show this on the camera.
Okay.
So
I broke my nose, that's why it's like a little bump.
it's not just your nose, but
I know. I know.
Well, it even says things like, hopefully he's dead after hitting someone with a car. I don't know what it is. The top influencer 2026 award goes to Clavicular. No, like actually he's one of the most known streamers as of now, so we are talking about him for a reason. But wait, this doesn't end here. He says that a woman's virginity directly correlates with her value.
I'm telling you, once a girl is not a virgin, her value is nothing.
So is a girl with 3 bodies? What do you?
Yes, the biggest.
Yeah,
one body is
the most valuable thing a woman can own is virginity.
Yeah, because their brain chemistry completely alters when they have. They're never going to forget their first body, their second body, their third body. So the more that they acquire, the worse that they get. Once a woman has one body, useless. Don't even consider that.
So you're only marrying a virgin?
Yeah.
That it's better to inject a Ozempic instead of doing cardio.
you're telling me you think it's a good idea to waste endless amounts of time doing cardio rather than just take a GLP-1?
Well, I don't want to inject myself with stuff.
And while I'm filming and editing this video, who knows what will come out next of this shitty hole. According to a 2024 BBC report, looksmaxxing has been linked to body image issues, including body dysmorphia, where people become overly fixated on perceived flaws in their appearance. Glow-up culture taken to extreme leads to the same consequences. body dysmorphia, never being satisfied with how you look, disorders that YouTube doesn't like anyone talking about, you know what I mean? But for some reason, when it happens to women, this is kind of the norm. And I'm not kidding you. Every time even I hear the story of a girl going through something like that, I'm like, well, yeah, sadly, this is the reality for almost all of the teenage girls that I know. But when I go on the internet and there's a guy, you know, having some issues with self-perception, everyone is like, oh, I'm so sorry in the comments. I'm not saying that we should normalize not being sorry or that we should normalize these disorders, of course not. It's just, you know, an observation that I wanted to share with you guys. For what reason, I don't know. I kind of think that when you're smashing your bones with a hammer to look better and then actually believe it will make you look better, the help is needed, no doubt. Of course, both looksmaxxing and glow up culture involve constant comparison with online ideals or other users, which negatively affects mental health and self-esteem. Critics also argue that looksmaxxing promotes narrow and unhealthy standards of masculinity and attractiveness in online spaces. They argue, but let me tell you for sure, it does. So with that being said, clavicular. Braden Eric Peters, born December 17, 2005, known online as Clavicular or Clav, is an American online streamer and influencer. He became known in 2025 after this photo went... I have problems with we and v. What a... He became known in 2025 after this photo of him went viral, and later on Kik and TikTok for his looksmaxxing content, which was extreme and controversial. Facial bone smashing, taking anabolic steroids and lipodissolve products, and using crystal to stay lean. These are some of his methods. In December 2025, a livestream clip of Clav hitting a man with his Cybertruck went viral online and brought him to a wider attention, as did his interview with right-wing political commentator Michael Knowles, in which he described United States Vice President J.D. Vance as subhuman, contrasting him with California Governor Gavin Newsom, whom he labeled a Chad. These are some levels of attractiveness by looksmaxxers. And then he appeared with right-wing influencers like Andrew Tate, I don't know, Sneeko, I don't know their names, but this is your typical average white man. I'm so sorry, like, guys. You need to understand that I'm not talking about every single one. I'm talking about like an image of a white, 40-year-old American white man with a belly, you know? Wow, I'm gonna get cancelled for this, definitely. Clavicular still describes himself as apolitical. According to Clav, he began injecting himself with testosterone at the age 13 while living at home during the COVID pandemic. During this period, he described spending up to 13 hours a day online, mainly browsing looksmaxxing forums, playing a game, and skipping online classes. He later stated that he is on the autism spectrum, although he has not received a formal professional diagnosis. From what we know, Clavicular actually got accepted into university at the fall of 2024, but he was expelled only 3 weeks after starting, after reportedly hiding testosterone in his dorm room. That didn't stop him though. That's exactly where his story started for an average viewer, and when he got, you know, famous online. He quickly got viral for promoting ideas of expansion, becoming more attractive to gain social and sexual power, hard maxing, extreme or painful physical modifications, bone smashing, hitting bones to reshape facial structure, and pseudoscientific methods, use of crystal that kills me every time I say this, to suppress appetite and to stay lean, long-term anabolic steroid use, which he claimed led to infertility due to suppressed natural testosterone production. He said his infertility is temporary, but guys, let's be realistic here. Why am I laughing? It's actually sad. By late 2025, he also launched a paid self-improvement program called the Clavicular System, later renamed Clavicular's Clan, costing around $50 per month. Braden later got attention for injecting his, at that time, 17-year-old girlfriend on a stream with fat dissolvers. Am I saying this for real?
Chat, we're looksmaxxing her. We're looksmaxxing her. It's all good.
He promoted additional extreme practices including starve maxing, extreme fasting, chewing hard objects to reshape the jaw, experimenting peptide and injection-based appearance methods. By late 2025 and early 2026, major media outlets described Clavicular as one of the most visible figures in the looksmaxxing community. Wired called him one of the most popular influencers in the space, The Atlantic described him as a leading new figure in the movement, Rolling Stone called him a premier figure, The Guardian labeled him one of the most prominent influencers. According to the New York Times, he was earning over $100,000 per month from live streaming by early 2026. Yeah, apparently that's what happens when you hit a person with a car on a live stream, when you inject a minor on a stream, when you promote hitting your face with a hammer to young boys. I mean, mic drop. No, if you're for real, that's what happens when you gain a lot of attention online. You will get money, and it doesn't matter if the attention is good or bad. For some time you will be getting money, but what will happen next? Stay tuned because we are gonna talk about it too. Now let's go back in time a bit. What were you doing on Christmas? Eating sweets? While Clavicular was hitting a person with a car. We all saw different. This happened on December 24th, 2025. A live stream clip went viral showing Peters in Miami-Dade County during a confrontation involving a man who had allegedly been stalking him. The man climbed onto the hood of his Tesla Cybertruck. Peters then drove while the situation escalated, and it appeared that Peters actually hit or ran over the man. In the video, he later asked whether the man was dead, and after the passenger, whoever that was, said, "I don't know," he said, "Hopefully."
Oh my fucking
Start driving with this guy in the car. Drive.
Oh my fucking. Oh my god! You probably just ran him over. Oh my god. Oh my god. Off the car. He was on the car. Oh my god.
Is he dead?
I don't know.
Hopefully.
On December 7th, 2026, Peters was arrested in Arizona for alleged drug possession and use of a fake ID after reportedly asking for ad during a live stream at bar. He was released the next day, and the charges were later dropped due to low likelihood of conviction. Big American justice. Shortly after, though, he appeared at New York Fashion Week, featuring a controversial looksmaxxing theme which increased his media attention a lot. So let's summarize a little bit. You hit a person with a car, you possess drugs, you use fake ID, you again inject a minor with something on stream, and then you walk a fashion show. And if you thought that's it, no. He didn't stop here. Clavicular was arrested again in Florida on battery charges involving an alleged altercation between his 19-year-old ex-girlfriend and another 24-year-old woman. Investigators reportedly found he may have provoked or escalated the fight. Yeah, he may have provoked or escalated the fight between his ex-girlfriend and his, I don't know, current girlfriend, girl, or whoever there was. Peak masculinity. Keep going. At the same time, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission launched an investigation into him after a live stream incident involving a previously dead alligator. Following this event, he was banned from Kick again. Kick is a live streaming platform like Twitch, and he was banned on Kick after a Cybertruck incident, as far as I remember, but apparently that's not enough to get a temporary ban. Yeah. Now, if you're wondering why actually they don't ban him totally, I would say that Clavicular is probably someone who makes the most users, who brings the most users to the platform, and that's why they just don't want to lose him. I mean, that makes sense for him, but at the same time, does it. In January 2026, a separate viral video showed Peters and several influencers, the right-wing influencers that I talked about, singing along to Kanye's West controversial song Heil Hitler at the Miami Beach Club. What am I doing with my life? Now let me name drop those people that were sitting along with Clavicular so you know them, and maybe, I don't know, suddenly don't become a fan of them. I don't know like how it potentially would happen, but let me tell you these names. Nick Fuentes, Sneeko, Tristan Tate, Andrew Tate, Myron Gaines, and Justin Waller. After the backlash, Clavicular defended the moment as just a song, Miami officials condemned the event, and several clubs banned the group from venues. That means that Clavicular will not be able to go to these clubs and stream it, and he has been doing it for quite a while. This is probably what got him a lot of attention. These are some consequences, but still, for everything he has done, he didn't really suffer any real consequences. Now, from early in his career, Peters reportedly received large donations from a figure known as P, an anonymous one, starting with $150,000 and allegedly reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars. According to various conspiracy theories, this mysterious P is Peter Thiel, the billionaire behind digital surveillance company Palantir and a friend of Jeffrey Epstein. However, Clavicular has always publicly distanced himself from this person. I gotta say that Thiel has a long story of finding voices in American right wing, which is interesting because Clavicular get claims that he's not political. We could talk about all his controversies for many years, I guess. Again, I'm sure that while I'm editing and filming this video, he will be doing so much more bull and suffer no consequences probably as well. News. Let's quickly go, oh my god, let's quickly talk about the latest news that happened with this man. I was right, I filmed this video quite a while ago and boom, we have so many more interesting news. First of all, he OD'd. Is it unexpected? No. This happened on a live stream too, which is insane. His PR manager said he quits working with him after that OD and said that Clavicular may be an drug addict without maybe realizing it. And honestly, I agree here. I know I'm not a doctor, of course, but do you really need to be a doctor to tell if someone is addicted to some substances? No. Clavicular said that he is considering stopping using substances for a while, but is it happening? I don't know. The latest news are that YouTube banned his channels. In a statement to People, a YouTube spokesperson said the action was a part of an ongoing enforcement of its policies, not a new violation. We terminated the creator's original channel back in November 2025, the statement said, adding that the platform removed these additional channels under our terms of service, which prohibit creating new channels after a termination. So basically, YouTube removed his original channel, but then from what I understood, he created new ones and YouTube didn't like that. And finally, like, I don't know, 5 months after, YouTube realized that, oh my god, he's doing something bad. That is him. We gotta remove those channels. And yeah, personally, I don't think he makes most of his money from YouTube. He doesn't, for some reason, he doesn't have that many views on YouTube, but he's popular on Kick, and Kick is not banning him anytime soon, as I see it. Yes, I think these are all news for now. If there will be something new to update you guys, I will update you guys. He has done a lot of weird, disgusting, and blatantly rage-bait things. That's like your average 13-year-old kid who wants attention, except he's 20. Let's sum it up. Clavicular is essentially a controversial figure at the center of the looksmaxxing movement, a subculture that promotes extreme physical self-optimization. His influence screams things we should be concerned about: mental health risks, body dysmorphia, toxic online beauty standards, misogyny, and young men getting dumber and brainwashed every day. Let me remind you, people actually watch him. He wouldn't be where he is without fans, or at least people who willingly follow him and watch his live streams. Much of this ideology is rooted in the so-called black-pilled worldview, which claims that dating success is determined almost entirely by genetics and that women are biologically programmed to chase only the top-tier men who must all look and act a certain way. In spaces where clavicula exists, women are often reduced to status markers, prizes to be won once a man has ascended, and basically viewed as existing only to provide sex or become a submissive partner. And it actually reminds me of the ideology that some female influencers consciously or unconsciously has been promoting. Yeah, the submissive woman, that you're a prize to be won. Now we just see the confirmation that I was right in those videos. We can see the results of this ideology from videos where Clavicula tries to interact with women.
My stream really doesn't like you, I guess.
I can go. I don't want them to be like.
I was gonna
hating
say
on
I
you.
could just, go real quick, then send you on your way.
I
I mean, that's literally the only reason why you're here.
Yeah. Oh my god, I don't want you to get hate. I feel like they don't like me.
What do I need to looksmaxx on my face?
Maybe just hit the reset button on that one, but definitely keep the body. Use Alice for that? No, on God, she's too fat.
Like, Cobb, can you pick me up? Can you actually pick me up? I weigh like a lot of pounds.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
Why haven't you gotten breast implants yet?
Do you think I should?
Yeah,
Actually?
I mean, I would. They're saying your nipples are disgusting.
It's fake, Clem.
What?
I go, okay, comment, and then you start talking to me, and I go, who the fuck is this? And then I see a camera on me. I'm like, why is there a camera on me?
The most famous thing in the club. I don't want anything but a white girl.
Are you serious?
Yeah, bro, what are we talking about?
I don't really like a woman who tries to be super educated either and try to like have these
Yeah, that's a very confident man. Definitely not weird, not insecure. I think he's happy with himself, and I think he's generally just mentally fine. Brayden has brushed off criticism as people simply being unwilling to face the truth. And yeah, let's be real, he's right here. Looks do affect your life, and in many cases, in most cases, if you're prettier, if you're more attractive, your life will be easier. But if you break it down, what he's actually doing is probably, allegedly, just monetizing young men's body dysmorphia and encouraging risky, unproven physical practices in the process. From my point of view, he doesn't care about anything except money and validation from other men at this point. He himself said that in looksmaxxing he focuses on speed instead of quality. Like, yeah, you could wait through puberty, get attractive over the years, let it happen naturally and not cause yourself any harm, but like, it takes too long. Like 5 years, 6 years? No. Why don't you just take testosterone, smash your bones, and take to stay lean? Like, really, why not if you think about it? Are there any cons? He doesn't focus on longevity and clearly talks about it.
So you don't care about maximizing your lifespan as much as your day-to-day.
Yeah, I'm not a huge longevity guy.
So you want to be 99th percentile at all aspects of life.
Absolutely.
Except maybe longevity.
Yeah, maybe not longevity.
Let's give it to him. Brayden is actually quite realistic here. He won't last long with this lifestyle. He actually seems to be decomposing in real time. Let me remind you, he turned 20 last December. A lot of people point out that he looks like much older. Yes, he does. I don't know if it's natural for him or if it is the result of everything he puts into his body. Let's discuss men's appearance in the comments, we love that. Recently, something started happening to his face live on stream. He passed out in a club, started randomly tweaking in different situations. 20's are best years, they say. It doesn't look good for him, but still, we are not here for no reason. Clavicula doesn't consider himself an influencer, though he contradicts this point every time I hear his interview.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm some like influencer. Like I'm not, okay? I've never claimed to be.
You're an influencer, not a creator.
Yeah, Exactly.
And even if he denies being an influencer, that doesn't stop him from being one. He has a large audience of mostly young men. I'd say teenagers and men in their early 20s. Yeah, that's like what young men means. You could think whatever you want about Clavicular. You could even assume that this is all just rage bait and he's just simply having fun making fun of us dumb audience. He's just rage baiting, right? Especially considering his own statements. But still, the guys who seriously pay him for coaching on looksmaxxing take part in his streams where he raises them, donate money to this man, and just consume his content even without paying anything, they show the real problem. They take it as truth. Just like young girls consumed the thewizardliz like a bible and lived by it, young men now follow the guidance of people like Clavicular. They live by it. By the way, I have the video about the thewizardliz on my channel. That was my first viral video. Thank you for the journey we've had since then. I really appreciate it. Subscribe! Now, Liz recently has been doing a lot of really weird things. I just watched Miss Weiwei's video about the thewizardliz. She's going through something definitely, but comparing Liz and Clavicular isn't entirely fair here, right? Liz didn't promote hitting yourself with a hammer to make your cheekbones look better, but still that's the only comparison we can make. While a woman gets cancelled for giving bad advice, a man can simply exist and even grow his career while injecting a minor in a camera, throwing around racist slurs, and hitting a man with a Cybertruck, right? A lot of Liz's advices are actually harmful, some are dumb, and I don't think that the narrative that she promoted to the audience are harmless. Again, I made 2 videos about her. I made them for a reason. I still I still stand for what I said there, so don't twist my words, you haters. And I'm starting to question, even as someone who criticized Liz, why men get away with so much more than women ever can. I'm not a fan of throwing around things like, what if a man did that, what if a woman did that, for no reason, but let's just acknowledge the reality. A group of men sings antisemitic songs, one of them literally hits a person with a car, harms a minor on stream, promotes drug use, uses a fake ID, possesses drugs. Imagine a woman doing that. A white, attractive girl saying the N-word, hitting a man with a car, injecting a minor guy with filler on livestream, fangirling over Kanye West, shooting a dead alligator, then also treating young guys like shit while simultaneously promoting toxic and unhealthy glow-up methods for girls and making it all a livestream? That just wouldn't happen. She would get cancelled on the moment of doing a typo in the caption for a TikTok video. The world we live in is insane, but is it insane? I'm not sure. It's just realistic. Yeah, the world we live in is realistic. I probably should have not overslept my high school. It's also important to mention that these men don't take responsibility for anything. They blame women instead. And a patriarchal society is actually the perfect environment for incel ideology to grow, which is exactly what we are witnessing now. On the contrary, their worldview will be reinforced by everyone around them. A Clavicular will go to a sneaker talking about a girl who was rude to him, and a sneaker will only encourage him, saying how bad that girl is, without considering the fact that a Clavicular might have just walked up and put his hand on a private part of her body, calling her a beautiful slut, which I'm sure he could do, and it would be strange to expect anything other than rudeness in response. But a Clavicular will walk away from a sneaker feeling totally superior and right, and no one will tell him that, bro, you're the problem here. Clavicular, in particular, not a theoretical one, treats women like objects, and that's not new. That's probably what would you actually expect from a guy like him. It's something that has always existed in the incel spaces, and it's sad that it's normalized, but it is what it is, unfortunately. He treats women like a very insecure man who wants validation from other insecure men around him, but he thinks he looks damn good and confident. The whole idea of his looksmaxxing Looksmaxxer content seems at first glance to be about becoming more attractive as a man and attracting women getting their validation, but what we actually see is the opposite. Clavicular wants male approval, and it seems to me like that's the only things he actually cares about. Every time he says the N-word, he looks around desperately searching for validation. Every time he talks badly to a girl, he secretly hopes someone like Andrew Tate would think he deserves respect. Every time he posts a video where he looks extremely awkward but hopes to look cool near a girl, he secretly, probably in my opinion, hopes some guy will comment, "Wow bro, you're so cool, I wanna be you." Women are not his goal, and even success in dating isn't. To me, he looks like someone who could sit in front of a mirror and pleasure himself just from how handsome he is without thinking about women if it wasn't expected by some social norms. To me, all this Looksmaxxer really needs is other men, more specifically their approval. Well, maybe men themselves too. I wouldn't be surprised, and that's okay actually, like obviously. The most telling clip to me was this one.
When you wake up every single morning and you take a look in the mirror, you're 100% satisfied with every single thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, dude. All right, well, I guess that's just, if you want to be completely disingenuous, that's fine with me. I guess there's just no point to continue.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right.
Can you imagine how pathetic you have been to not even be able to imagine that someone can be happy with themselves without meeting certain standards? Let me remind you, this is the same person that claims he doesn't follow social norms or whatever he said in order to excuse himself saying the N-word. He is the victim of social norms. I don't want to just throw around the word pathetic, but what else can you call it? This is pathetic. I love how the interviewer just mocks him with his confidence. He's just sitting there talking to him like he's a dumb child. I probably forgot to say that mock basically means to be better than someone, and specifically in Looksmaxxing, look better than someone. Now, if there are guys who watch this video and really think that Looksmaxxing will help them in dating, well, I'll speak for myself, okay? As a girl, this is actually the least attractive thing to me. When someone is too focused on their appearance, it doesn't really matter if I'm talking about a girl or a boy, it's just not attractive. It's desperate. It makes me want to cry and scream and say sorry to those guys. A man who, instead of intellectual development and spiritual growth, over focuses on his appearance, face, bones, body, that's the worst thing possible for me. It's not really interesting to spend time with such a person, to talk to them. It's just unpleasant to even be around them, because no matter how much you try to hide your insecurity or your need for validation, it shows. It just does. I'm not saying don't go to gym, look unhealthy, get unhealthy, don't brush your teeth, don't wash your face and all of that. I'm not saying that, okay? I think that in general, we all should go to gym, eat healthy, and be mentally and physically healthy. So on basic. But we should do it for ourselves, in my opinion, not for other people, not for them to think that you're mocking someone. What attracts me as a girl is a physically and mentally healthy person who just happens to be my type, not someone with an insane jawline, perfect facial symmetry, or flawless hairline. I'm speaking for myself though. Maybe there will be girls in the comments who'll be like, well, if you don't have the golden hairline, you're not my type. And honestly, you're right. We all have our standards and our goals in a relationship. That's getting super social, ew. So I have highlighted that Clavicular is a very insecure person, and also I don't want to make it look like being insecure is something necessarily bad. We all have insecurities, we all are humans, it's okay. It doesn't automatically make you worthless, bad, unattractive, and all of that. I'm not saying that you are disgusting or bad, that you should be shy and hate yourself for already being insecure. Not at all, please. Hear me out. No, that is okay. I'm actually talking about a different kind of insecurity with Clavicular. The one where there is no personality and the person is trying to compensate that with a surface level confidence that is built on rudeness. This man has no personality, no principles, no real confidence. He has no sense of self-worth because he will do anything to get attention. And attention seeking is just desperate and pathetic, which is not attractive at all. You need to personality mags, bro. At the same time, we have to admit that this is the representation of what can happen to any of us, not just guys, not just his fans, to anyone. In a world that reduces your value to your appearance, you slowly, without even realizing it, start to believe that this is where your value lies. That if you're not conventionally attractive, you should not exist, because what's even the point? Clavicular is an example of an incel who found the perfect environment to grow and hide his insecurity while trying to look like a cool guy. But we see it, Clavicular, we see the real you. And you guys need to realize that you can't really hide how insecure you are long term. I used to believe in fake it till you make it, and in some cases it still works, but confidence is silent and insecurity is loud, as they say. Maybe if someone had brought him into the real world, given him real friends, real human connection when he needed it most at that innocent age of 14, things could have been different. But instead he found that connection on incel subreddits and became one of them, probably still not fully realizing the problem. On one hand, you could say, Nana, he's just a rage beta, wake up, it's all planned. But look at this way. Yes, he does a lot of things to just get attention, which is basically rage bait. But his real interactions with women, with people, in my opinion, do show what he actually feels. His insecurity, stiffness, awkwardness with women, the constant need to prove something to get validation, it shows. No matter how you look, how much money you have, what car you drive, it shows. You can tell if a man is insecure and if a man is confident. And of course, the same goes for women. Don't get me wrong. Hear me out, Clavicular, even though you will never watch it. Hear me out. We can feel that you're a scared teenage guy trapped in a drugged, decomposing body that is supposed to be hot. You're not a Chad, you're insecure, racist. Nothing is more pathetic than a white guy who throws around the N-word. Are you actually dumb to think that it's cool? You look like a spoiled child that has nothing in his life, that has achieved nothing because he's a child. But we are not talking about a child, we are talking about a 20-year-old man. So his excuse for saying the N-word is that he's some kind of free-spirited guy who doesn't care about social rules.
Are you just like pure white?
I'm pure white.
Okay, so I was just wondering, like, what makes you like say like the N-word?
Of course. Well, I just like it, you know.
You just like it? So,
yeah.
Do you think that's like? You think white people can say the N-word? Like, you think that's acceptable?
I think I can say the N-word. I think I can say it. I don't really think that, you know, it really matters that much.
Why you think it doesn't matter?
Well, because I'm just kind of like a free-spirited guy. Like, I don't really think about like social constraints and
But come on, that's not freedom, that's just a convenient cover. Everything he does is for social norms, is performative. It's all for validation. He doesn't even hide it. He's actually the one who cares the most about social constraints. He's literally dragging himself with God knows what to just fit in and match the looksmaxxing ideal. Because at the end of the day, as a looksmaxxer, he isn't rejecting social pressure. He is totally controlled by it. The allegations of rage bait, yes, let's talk about it again, they're completely valid. A lot of what's happening online right now is a rage bait, and yeah, that's exactly why in my video about a female girl group, I said that your attention is currency. Your attention is being played with, neglected, manipulated by everyone, and constantly capitalized on. So y'all, attention max a little bit. Start watching what you consume every day. Delete some apps for your own sake. Be conscious about what you choose to feed with your attention. When I watched some content with Clavicular to get ready for making this video, I couldn't really tell sometimes if he is dumb or if he's pretending. And for the most part, I felt like he's pretending and that in the back of his mind, he's like, what the f am I saying? But at the same time, he is actually doing everything he does to himself. That he's making a lot of money, so he's better than you argument doesn't work here. Capitalistic society makes you think that money is the only measure of everything you do. But there are also morals, values, and principles. You can also make a lot of money, like millions of dollars, by doing drugs, selling people, doing prostitution. Does it make you successful? Well, define success at this point. You decide for yourself, can someone really call themselves successful if they will do absolutely anything for attention and a stack of cash just to be talked about? Define success. In the end, it's different for everyone. But the point is still that he's making money, so he's better than you, so he's the smartest one here. It doesn't work. Yeah, he's making money, but he's also decomposing, he's also taking to stay lean, he's also taking drugs, he's a drug addict at this point, he is also racist. Think about this when you think that Clavicular is the smartest one. In conclusion, Clavicular is not just an individual case, he is a reflection of much larger internet culture built on attention, extremes, and constant comparison. What we see in him is a mix of performance insecurity and monetized controversy, and it all is wrapped into a system where being loud often matters more than being healthy or genuine. Looksmaxxing in its extreme form stops being about self-improvement and becomes about validation, control, and identity built entirely around appearance. Now, is it new? No. Is it getting worse and worse with each case we talk about? Yes. When a person ties their worth only to how they look or how much attention they can get, it often leads to distortion of self-image, relationships, and reality itself. At the same time, there are many other creators in this space, but he has become one of its most visible representations. He is not the origin of the culture, but rather a symptom of a broader online environment that rewards extremes, that pushes people toward performance over authenticity. The audience also plays a role. As I said, attention is currency, and whatever gets views gets amplified, whether it is healthy or not, whether you like it or not. That's why these spaces grow even when they are clearly harmful or unstable. So the real question for me is not just about one creator, but about the environment that creates and actually rewards this type of behavior. What kind of content do we choose to support? What kind of values are we normalizing through our attention? And honestly, I don't wish him hate, I wish him mental peace. He seems like a lost person to me that just is deeply unhappy. This video is more of a wake-up call for everyone who follows the philosophy of this specific creator and the philosophy of looksmaxxing and even glow-up culture in general. It's also the video for the girls, because be careful, these men are around you and there are probably more of them than you think. And it's also a video for girls because looksmaxxing is basically glow-up culture taken too far. In female spaces, this kind of ideology exists for decades. Are we gonna pretend like the normalization of getting baby botox at 18, like lip fill and nose jobs at 18 is okay? Let's not even go there in this video at least. Yeah, so the conclusion of this video is that looksmaxxing taken too far is bad. And Clavicular is not someone who you should follow. Probably that's it. I'm sure you made your own conclusions. Please write them down in the comments. I read every single one, and your comment will all your comment will also your comment will also greatly support the channel. Thank you so much for the love you showed for my previous videos. I really appreciate it. Guys, I live in Ukraine. Support Ukraine, please. It's getting worse. Слава Україні! Героям слава! Слава нації! Смерть ворогам! Mic drop. Thank you so much for watching this video again. It was Nana. You gotta follow me on Instagram. See you later. Bye.
With a light foundation, just one pump on the back of my hand. I press it in with a damp sponge. A little concealer right under the eyes. Blend it out. Setting everything with a touch of powder. I like to give the brows a bit of shape and a hint of color on the lips.